Right then, guys, welcome back into the Spooky Shed, your go-to place for conversations around all things weird, scary, and of course spooky. Tonight with me, I have got Devon from West Virginia Paranormal. Devon, welcome into the shed. How are we?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No problem. I'm good. I keep saying this every time, but it is fucking cold in here, and fantastically, it's just started raining, so there might be some background noise. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's all right.
Right, so I prepped you like I do everybody, that I get all my guests to leave something in the shed. So it can be something you love, something you hate, a person, a place, a feeling, a thing, whatever you want. The weirder, the better. What have you got for me?
I'm going to leave with you my investigator dignity because I ran out of the room the other day at an investigation like a little girl as fast as I could, scared the crap out of me. So there goes all my street cred. So I'm leaving that with you.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, that sounds like a good place to start with then. Now, I'm really glad you haven't left some sort of haunted object in here, because I'm sick
No,
of people leaving me haunted dolls, because haunted dolls scare the living shit out of me.
same.
I don't like them. I don't understand how people have them in the house. They're freaks.
Yeah, there's no way. They're cool to look at, but I don't want to take anything like that home with me. There's no way.
Yeah, I like. Well, I wouldn't say they were cool to look at, because half of them look weird as hell. I like the idea of them, but I don't like them.
No, I totally agree.
Right. So before we jump into that, because I need to know about that, about what made you run out of a room so much. So I always like to start with people where your interest into the paranormal and all the weird shit in life, as I say, starts.
Okay. So I've loved anything paranormal ever since I was a little kid. I grew up watching Ghost Hunters, usually international, with my dad. I mean, he got me kind of into that. I'll blame this on him. We spent a lot of time in Gettysburg as a kid, and we would go on the ghost hunts there, and that place is just incredible. And I just kind of became infatuated with paranormal stuff ever since I was a kid. So, as I've grown up, that never really went away. So I just decided, you know what? Like, I really want to do this in my spare time, and I'm just going to start buying equipment and researching and learning about it and just start doing it. So I did, and it's a blast. I absolutely love it.
Nice. I like it. I like it. I always like to ask people that question, because my interest in it is weird. So I was always into it when I was a kid. I used to always watch. We have like for your like Ghost Adventures. We have Most Haunted. I used to
Mhm.
watch that all the time, constantly. Apparently, I used to sit in my bedroom and talk to people that weren't there. That I've now just been told there were people there, but but yeah. So that freaked me out recently. That was definitely weird,
Oh, wow.
especially especially when I got given names and then I questioned my family on them names, and that got confirmed. Yeah, that was
Wow.
scary.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit. Yeah, it
exactly.
would be.
Yeah,
Wow.
but then I lost interest in it. I don't know why, but I very much lost interest in it and became highly, highly skeptical. And then when me and my, do I say old co-host, because he's been on a few episodes recently, so Billy, who sometimes does this with me, he sort of got me back into it, and now weirdly it's me that does the most of it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you got back into it.
Yeah, same. Uh, right then, let's dive into this. I need to hear this story. What scared you so much that it made you run out of a room?
Okay, so we were in Ohio at a place called Prospect Place. It was part of the Underground Railroad and really, really cool house. There was a lot of activity. They had a third floor ballroom that's U shaped. And supposedly, from what we've heard, there's conflicting stories, but back in the 60s and 70s, when it was unoccupied, there was some animal sacrificing that went on in that room. There was a pentagram on the wall and all that stuff. So, whenever they bought it to restore it, they paved over it, they put a little cross on the wall. So, I thought this would be a good place to do a solo investigation. I got brave all of a sudden, was like, this is where I want to be by myself. So, everyone else was downstairs and I started setting up my camera and I had my chair set up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm feeling great, confident. And I'm setting up my camera and I'm bent down like this and I'm just making sure that I'm going to be in view. And a man's voice whispered right in my ear. I have not a clue what it said. It scared the crap out of me. I like popped my head up and I like did one of these and I booked it out of the room. I mean, I was not sticking around. I left my camera running in there for probably half an hour. I was like, I'm not, it scared me. Everybody downstairs, I just heard them laughing because they just heard the dun, 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 me running across the floor. That's the first time that's happened to me. I mean, it really freaked me out.
Yeah, I can imagine. The idea of hearing voices. I don't know. It sort of freaks me out, but It's sort of happened to me a few times, but very recently, I think it was about 4 days ago. This is the only way it's happened to me with different people, usually family members. So I was in the kitchen at home, and I was adamant I heard my wife shout my name. So
Mhm.
like 3 times, I shouted "what," each time getting louder and louder. And then I was like, "For fuck's sake, what do you want?" So then I walk out, I go upstairs, fast asleep.
Oh, shit.
But I'm sure, I'm like 100,
Yeah.
well, 99% certain I heard what in my head was her, well, in my ear, was her
Mhm.
shouting my name.
That is
So
bizarre.
that was fucking weird, yeah. But
Yeah.
I've had a lot of weird stuff happen recently, and I don't like it.
Uh, it's people leaving
Yeah.
stuff with the spooky shit, maybe that's why.
Exactly what this is what I've found, that the more stuff that I look into, the more people I speak to, the more stuff happens.
That's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you see I don't know if you see on TikTok, sometimes when people post videos, people will put underneath, like, "I claim no negative energy from this," and I always laugh about that, but hey, maybe you need to start doing that.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, well, yeah, to go back to your story there, then I mean, I don't blame you. I probably would have done the same, to be fair, especially because when you're on your own as well, everything's always scarier.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm very brave when I have well, I mean, my dad always goes with me, so I'm very brave when I have my dad in the room with me, and that yeah, it was and that was the first time. The second time, we actually ran out of the room that night, but there was 2 other people with me, and I didn't really know what happened, but I just I started following because someone said, "Get the fuck out," so I just started running, and I didn't really know what we were running from, but equally scary, so
Fair enough.
yeah, it's fine. Just followed the leader.
I always find it funny how that we always seem to be always feel more safer in a group against like ghosts and stuff, but
Mhm.
I don't like. There's nothing anyone could do anyway. It doesn't matter whether there's 2 of you or 100 of you. Like,
That's so true.
because yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I always find funny.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
But
there's a
yeah,
false sense of security, but it really doesn't
mm,
matter.
yeah. Which whatever helps, isn't it?
Mhm, I guess so, I guess so.
Whatever makes you feel better.
Well, and you
So
mentioned, what was the show that you had that you started watching? You said that was in the UK?
most haunted.
Most Haunted. So they're actually in Gettysburg the same time we were. My dad got to meet them. I did not, which I was really disappointed, but yeah, he ran into them in a bookstore.
Yeah, yeah. It used to. For like I mean, I'd be guessing at how many seasons of it there was, but I know there was a lot.
Yeah.
But it was like what once they got to like halfway through, or say there's 20. The first 10 were really good. The last 10 were where things started to get really silly.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know how it took such a nosedive, but it really did,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
there's a
it's
lot.
a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But for me, I love telling people about this, especially people who like who didn't like watch it religiously, because for me, the moment it went downhill. So the famous medium that was on it, have you heard of Derek Akora?
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing. I'll send you the clip afterwards because I can't do it justice. But there's a part I can't remember where they are, but they just stood there, and he does this thing where he gets possessed, and he goes, "Oh," starts shaking his head around and everything, and just starts chanting, "Mary loves Dick."
Haven't seen that. That's amazing.
Promise you now.
Yes,
That
please
I
send that.
literally remember sitting watching it and thinking, "I'm done with this. It's too far now."
I love that though. That would probably hook me in. I'd keep watching it.
Don't get me wrong, it's hilarious, and every single time that it comes up on TikTok or something or Facebook or wherever, I will watch it at least 5 times, but it did kill watching it as much as I did.
That is incredible. No, I've never seen that.
Honestly, it's brilliant. I'll send you it when we're finished. It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite things ever. Just because of the seriousness in his voice. It's just
Mhm.
everything about it is just perfect. Brilliant.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Right. So, do you want to talk to me about some of the, well, we'll go the most like well-known places you've investigated, and then like the most active. I don't know. However
Okay.
you want to do it. Or I mean
Yeah.
that they might fall into both.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard of the West Virginia State Penitentiary. That one
Mhm.
is absolutely incredible, and that's only about 30 minutes from my house, so I'm pretty
Nice.
fortunate to have that, like, right in our backyard. We started doing before I got into doing this more seriously, we would just go and do, like, flashlight tours there and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
always active. I've never not had something happen there. But we did an overnight there in August, and it was absolutely incredible, and it was so much fun. I mean, the only thing about us, though, is sometimes listening to our recordings, like, we're goofing off so much, I'm like, if we caught something, like, we wouldn't even I don't even know. It's just pointless to even be recording because 'cause we're just having a blast doing it. But there
Mm,
was a lot of stuff that happened there, and then also at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, which is downstate West Virginia. That is probably my favorite place, very well known too. I got a couple really good shadow people. We were there right before Halloween, and I
mm,
got some really, really good pictures there, and I'm still going through my stuff there. So that's probably most well known. I'd say least is there's a smaller lunatic asylum that's not far from me. It's called Roney's Point. It started out as a tuberculosis hospital and then it turned into a lunatic asylum. Pretty small. It's kind of up away from everything. It's not a place that they let people go in and investigate normally, but we got the hookup and it worked out and you have to get a waiver and all that stuff. But we went in there and it was so cool because I've always wanted to go up there, but it was always, off limits. And you hear the stories
mm.
about, oh, there's a crazy man that chases you off with a shotgun or whatever. If you go up there, like just to scare people off. It was so cool and very, very active. I was using my spirit box and just sitting on the porch and I think we were there for 3 hours and I had like 500 and some alerts. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
nonstop, would would not shut up, had a lot to say. And if I stopped asking questions and was like digging in my bag or doing something else, it would say, pay attention, come back, I want to go home with you. I mean, just really bizarre. But so we're definitely going to go back there. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds ridiculous, especially especially on a spirit box to get that much as well. I've never heard of like a place being that active with like especially with spirit boxes and stuff.
It was nuts. I was about ready to turn it off at one point because I was like, sort of like, okay,
Yeah,
that's enough. I mean, it just would not stop. It would not shut up. I guess there's no visitors there. So maybe that's why it's not a place where people are going and investigating. But
possibly.
um, yeah, it had a lot to say.
They always seem like like those sorts of places. They always seem to be the most active. Like say from what I've seen, from what I've read, and like say from people that I've spoke to. Do you have any opinions on why that might be?
I don't. I don't know. I mean, as far as that place goes, I think there's nobody that has done a paranormal investigation there that I'm aware of. I mean, sometimes
Mm,
there's college kids that break in as part of their like fraternity thing and they go in, but as far as actually going and talking and, trying to get them
mm,
engaged, there was a lot of activity. They had a lot to say. And then at some of the bigger places, like the lunatic asylum, things like that, you hear there's some nights where they don't get absolutely anything. And I'm thinking, well, they're probably tired of people coming in here and, make
mm.
this light turn on or knock on the wall for me. I mean, they're not, like monkeys in the circus. So I think sometimes
Yeah.
you just never know if you're going to get a lot or not. But we've been pretty fortunate.
I mean, I probably should. It's probably going to sound bad, but I can't remember who I was speaking to about the similar sort of thing and about why, like you say, your asylums and stuff tend to be the most active. I think between us, we've sort of come up with a conclusion that most of the time, a lot of the people there, like I say, when they were actually in use, the people that were there didn't really have much family and stuff, so they don't really have anywhere to go.
Hmm.
And like I say, obviously they're not. How do I say how do I say this correctly nowadays? Because I mean I don't like the word I don't like the words lunatic asylum anyway. I don't know. I don't know how else to put it, but obviously they're not. They need help. We'll say
Hmm.
it. Yeah. So then obviously I mean, they might just be literally stuck there. I don't know what it is. It's just
Yeah.
it definitely intrigues me why them places are more active than others and tend to like, spirits tend to stay in places like that more
Hmm.
than other places.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. I don't know, but they're definitely always very active.
mm,
Yeah, it's sad though too. I mean, a lot of the stories, as when you go in the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, they have kind of a museum part, and they have a list of the reasons people got admitted. And back then, I mean, if you burnt your husband's dinner, they could just drop you off, and you would just be there until you died. It was
yeah,
just absolutely crazy what they went through, and you hear the whole story about the lobotomies that they did, and just really bizarre. And we had gone there before I ever investigated there. We went there on just a daytime tour for the history, and I took my daughter, who is 11 now, but she was probably, I want to say 7 ish. And it was just a history tour. and we got onto the children's ward, and she got the most severe headache that she's ever had in her life, and she didn't know it was the children's ward. As soon as we walked
Mhm.
on there, it just, like, it hit her, and she was grabbing her head, and she was like, "Oh," and
Mm.
it was so bizarre, and she just had the worst headache. As soon as we stepped off of that floor, it went away, but it was enough that I was like, "What happened?" Enough for my husband to say, "Okay, never again," she's not going back to any place like that, It was bizarre.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird how places can affect you like that as well. So me and Billy, who I mentioned before, we done a little investigation in the woods near where I live because there's some old abandoned there's like an old abandoned hospital in there. There's an old abandoned house in there, and there's a lot of dark shit that has happened in there. Like, and when I say dark, straight to the point, one of the worst thing that's happened in there, I think it was like 2003. A group of teenagers found a dead baby in a bin bag. So I mean, that pretty much tops it
Ooh,
off. Yeah, exactly.
but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So shit, like I said, there's a lot of weird shit going on in there. And we went in there one night and done a little investigation, and literally from being like 10 yards into the actual trees, I felt horrific the entire time we were there. As soon as we got out and got back onto the road, I felt fine. It's really weird. But then like he didn't feel anything when we were there. He felt, perfectly fine the whole time we were there. I just
Mhm,
think it's weird how certain people get affected by things. And that was at a time when I was still fairly skeptical of things as well. But
mhm, mhm.
I thought that was
Yeah,
strange. I thought if anybody was going to get affected by anything, it would be him because he's the one who believes in stuff. But I don't know.
mhm. Yeah, and it makes you feel crazy when you say that too a little bit, because 'cause
Mm,
you're just like, "Oh my gosh, I have this," and people are looking at you like,
mm,
"Okay, I don't feel anything," but it's
yeah.
it's very real.
Mm,
We had that happen. We were in Ohio about a month ago, and we were down in the basement, and that every time I walked down there, I got just severe ear pain. It was just very,
mm.
very random. As soon as I walked upstairs, it was gone, and it was only me. I don't know what it was related to. It was very, very strange, but very real. I mean, it hurt. So, I don't know.
It's weird because, like, for me, in my situation there, at first I thought, oh, it's just a bit of nerves. Like, we're going into the frigging woods in the middle of the night. I was like, and obviously knowing some of the shit that's happened in there, I was like, I'm not worried about ghosts. I'm worried about murderers.
Mhm,
Sort of thing.
right.
So at first I thought it was that, but then obviously once you're somewhere for long enough, you sort of I don't know, like any sort of nerves. Well, for me anyway, tend to sort of go. Well, like they did that night anyway, but I can't. I just started feeling worse and worse and worse and worse, and that was actually why we left because I was at the point where I was like I'm actually gonna be sick, so we can call this a day. And then
Mhm.
literally, this as soon as we got back to the road, it was like nothing was wrong. It was weird as hell.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
Yeah,
bizarre.
wasn't a fan of it, so I hope that doesn't happen
No,
again.
no, that's miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what sort of equipment do you use then? Have you got use the typical stuff?
Yeah, typical stuff. I
Yeah.
kinda started out small, I started with just a little voice recorder, and a camcorder was
Yeah.
just, like, my initial, and then I just kinda started building up. So those are always my go-to is just that, EMF reader. I have a thermal imager. Um, I have a spirit box. I have the REM pod, which I finally got some action on. The whole time I've had that, I thought this is a waste of money because nothing has ever happened with it this entire time until last weekend. Thank God, finally. I have dowsing rods. I have, trying to think, oh, I just got the Medusa's net, which is the green dot. I don't know if you've seen that. It
No.
projects on the wall. It's like green lasers basically, and it's on a little stand, and that way you can capture something, going through it, and it makes the laser lights look different or move or whatever. So
Oh,
I got
that's
to use that.
cool.
Yeah, I got to use that for the first time. Trying to think what else. Yeah, just the standard stuff, but I'm always looking and trying to
Yeah.
kind of add stuff. Paranormal equipment is so expensive, so it's like a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that out because, like, I've started, well, in the process of starting my own little collection of equipment and stuff because all the stuff we used before was all just Billy's equipment that he has. And to be fair, he's got a fair amount. He's got some good stuff, but I want my own.
Mhm.
The dowsing rods have always intrigued me. I don't understand how they work.
I know. They're still I use them, but I'm still not 100% on them to be
Mm,
completely honest. I talked to another group. I went to this fair and they were selling them there, and of course they had they added beads on them, so it's a little bit easier to move and you're not gripping them so tight. And I mean,
Mm.
they definitely move on their own. You know that there's use them for finding water and things like that.
Yeah.
I I don't know, but there's sometimes when I'm asking questions and I don't get anything at all, and then there's other times when I'm asking, "Show me my yes," and it'll cross, or, "Can you point to where you are in the room?" and it'll just shift to
Mm.
coincidental. I don't know, but I'm learning them still, but I've had some good, reaction with them, so I don't know,
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, like they've always intrigued me because I don't even understand how they work when, like you said, like to find water and stuff. I don't even understand how the hell that works. That's weird on its own. Never mind
Right,
finding ghosts with
right,
the thing.
right.
Makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Uh-huh, yeah, and I haven't
Yeah,
even I should just take them by water and see what they do. I'm not sure
yeah,
how that works, but yeah, I have them,
yeah.
so.
It's funny because with paranormal equipment, most of it is how do I say this with it makes sense. Like a lot of the stuff is something else as well.
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
yes.
I don't really think there's actually anything that is 100% solely purely for finding ghosts.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, like the EMF readers, yeah,
Mm.
that's
Exactly, I
yeah,
mean, even like spirit boxes, that's essentially
mhm,
just a radio.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm. It's
Yeah,
it it's weird, and I mean, I'd be very surprised if there isn't somebody who is literally working on a camera that doesn't matter where, like, all you gotta do is move it around, and if there's something there, then it'll show up 100% every single time, but
mhm.
I don't know. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and that's the thing with that equipment. I mean, it's enough ammo for people who are skeptical to just say, okay, well, there's electrical
Yeah.
source close, there, whatever it is. So it's,
Yeah.
if you,
True.
I guess, believe that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing and you're getting real reaction, but, nothing's
Yeah.
100%, I guess. It always could be something else, but we're always trying to kind of disprove it too. When we get something, we're
Mm.
like, okay, wait a second, and we're checking kind of around us just to not automatically say, oh, that's paranormal, like that's a ghost.
Yeah.
So we got to check ourselves sometimes too, just to because it's not always paranormal. We'd like it to be, but
Yeah,
it's not.
exactly. It's why I always say, like, whenever I do anything, whenever I ever do any sort of investigations, or even when I'm watching investigations that people do, if just one piece of equipment goes off, I'm still a bit. If
Hmm.
like two things are going off, then yeah, three, four, then it's just like, right, yes, there's definitely something there. But for me, if just
Hmm.
one thing goes off, I'm still a bit like, oh, it could be anything.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree
Mm.
with that. Yeah, we had a REM pod, which was the first, like I said, the first time it's ever gone off. My REM pod and a flashlight go off like at the same time, which
Mm.
that was cool. I was like, okay, finally, thank you, somebody's using this because I was about ready to throw it
Right.
out the window. But that was pretty neat. So, but that's the first
Yeah.
time that's happened.
Fair enough. Do you have a favorite piece of equipment and least favorite?
I would say the spirit box is probably my favorite, but like I said, I'm always very careful with that just because if someone has their phone close or even their watch close, anything like that, it has to be on airplane mode or it'll just start saying random
Mhm.
things. But whenever it's working, I mean, we've had some really incredible things come from that, like absolutely insane. So that's probably my favorite. EMF reader, I always kind of end up giving up on. I know a lot of people love it, but I use it for a little bit and I'm just like, okay, and I put it away. So that's probably the one I don't really grab that much
Yeah.
anymore. When I first started, that was my go-to, but not really now.
Yeah, I'm the same with both. I think the spirit boxes and stuff, and obviously like the word boxes and things like that. They're all really good because like it's like an instant response. It's not like getting an EVP where you've then got to go you then got to go back and listen to it. Whereas like
Mhm.
with the spirit boxes and stuff, you can almost have a full on conversation there and then. Like I say, I mean, I've never liked EMF detectors ever since. So the first episode, funny enough, that we actually did of this was Billy showing me all of his equipment, and we've recently done basically redone that episode, but now we're doing video versions of it. And because like I said, that's when I was very, very, very skeptical. He was like, "Oh well, we'll put the EMF detector on the desk, and then we'll see what happens." And we both had our phones there. I have an iPhone. He had a Samsung phone at the time, and he put it down, and then it just started going ballistic.
Mm.
And then then he was like, "Oh look! I told you, I told you." I was like, "Me fucking house is not haunted. Like, calm down." And then I picked it up, moved it away from my phone, nothing. Put it on the other side, nothing. Then I was like, "Hang on, that's weird." So then put it
Mhm.
back to my phone. He started going ballistic again. Put it near his phone, nothing. So that was when we discovered that iPhone set them off. So I mean,
Yeah.
I say
Yeah.
I'm just that's why I don't like them. Just because of that first experience I had with them, I was just like, well, this is shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and if there's
Mm,
in a your place where there's faulty wiring or anything like that, I
mm.
mean, it's you don't know what you're getting, so I'm just like, "Okay." I just put it back in the bag.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And they're probably the only thing that is like cheap.
Mhm. Right,
Like
that's true.
everything else is fucking expensive apart from them things and cat balls. But I do like cat balls to be fair.
See, I don't have any luck with the cat balls either. I have a
Mm.
bunch of them, and nothing ever happens with the cat balls ever for me. I try, and
Yeah.
I'm, like, begging, and nothing ever happens. So you've had good experiences with them?
Well, I've had one experience with them, and
Okay.
it was a good one because it was like because it was a personal experience. So again, similar, they were one of the first things that Billy showed me like I say, when we done our first ever episode, and I said to him, I was like, these are cats' toy, Billy. What the hell are you talking about? You can't find ghosts with freaking cats' toys. What you on about, man? And then I don't I think well. I think I bought some because like I said, just to start adding equipment to my own little collection and stuff. And then after having somebody on here for me Halloween special, and well, I've been speaking to a few people who are into like mediumship and stuff at the minute, and I've been talking a lot about my granddad, who was literally my favorite person ever, funniest person ever. They've like told me like to try and like speak to him and stuff, and I was like, I've got these cat balls. I was like, one night, my son and my wife, they were staying at her mum's house, so I had the house to myself, and I was like, right, fuck it, I'm just gonna get them out. So I got it out, I put it on the shelf underneath the TV. And like I was just sat there and I was staring at I recorded it on my phone, I can show you it afterwards as well. And I was just sat there watching TV and then I was just looking at it and like I remember thinking in my head because like I said to the people I've been speaking to like when I'm asking questions, can I just do it in my head because I'm I don't feel right enough just like to be saying stuff out loud. I'd feel like too much like a dickhead. They were like, no, that's fine. Just think it in your head. So I was like, all right, cool. So I was just sat there and I was just thinking to myself in my head, I was like, Granddad, if you're here, touch that ball. And the second like I'd finished thinking that sentence, it just went off.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, especially with your
Mm.
granddad. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good for that to happen too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not happened again since, like, so it could be a fluke. I don't know,
I
but
don't know.
it's
I mean,
still
they don't.
it's nice to have that feeling.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I mean, it was a really weird feeling at the time as well. I didn't know whether to be happy. I didn't know whether to cry. I was like, I don't know what to fucking do.
Yeah, that's good though. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sound like you needed that too. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's mainly because as well, like my son is 1 now, and every time he sees pictures of my granddad, because I've got pictures of him in the house, and obviously everyone else has got pictures of my granddad up, and every time he sees them, he points at them. So like he's
I wonder if
like
he sees them.
well,
Yeah.
exactly that's what I've been told, and
Mhm.
he was doing like the exact same thing that he does. So when he sees the pictures of me, he holds his hands out and does that.
Oh,
And then couple of weeks ago, I was bathing him, and he like, and where the bath is, if he turns around, you can look straight into his bedroom. And he kept
mhm.
turning around, looking at his bedroom door, and doing that. So
Oh,
I started recording him, and then when I turned my phone around to record the door, and my phone just completely glitched out, and the screen went green.
he's there.
Yeah,
He is
exactly. Yeah,
in the
exactly.
house with you. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
really weird.
Yeah, I love
But
that.
I only realized it had done that when I watched the video back, but I didn't watch the video back for about 2 days until I sent it to somebody. I sent it
Yeah.
to somebody and then it just automatically played when I sent it, and I was like, "Hey, what the hell? That didn't happen."
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So,
That is awesome. Yeah, he's definitely with you, and, kids are so sensitive too. They pick up on
mm,
that stuff, which it's incredible. Yeah, my daughter had she my mom died whenever my daughter was 2.5, and we had one instance, it was about a month after my mom passed away, and my daughter called her Mudgy. It was just we were I don't know, we were just kinda, like, fucking off with names, and Mudgy stuck, and then that's just what it always was. I was in the kitchen, and she came in, and she was said something about Mudgy writing on her chalkboard with her, and I thought she was talking about, like, previously, and I was like, "What?" And I said, "She's in your room right now?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "She told me that she feels better." And I just like, oh, it just destroyed me. I was like, she
Yeah.
was in your room, and she's like, yeah, she was in my room, and I'm like, okay. But kids pick up on stuff like that. It's crazy. Yeah, I wish we could see things like
Yeah,
that.
same.
Well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. It might scare me if I was seeing things all the time, but in theory, it sounds good.
Yeah, true, true. Well, it's like I say, I used to talk to people all the time, and then, like I say, I've been taught. Then I was telling somebody about it, and then they randomly gave me a name, and then I questioned that name, and it turns out that was the name that I was told was my dad's granddad's name. So I was like, well, that's fucking weird.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is a funny one. So my niece, my youngest niece, so my brother and his wife and two kids had just moved into this house. And my sister-in-law was at home with my youngest niece, and she was in like the hallway doing whatever. My sister-in-law was in the living room watching TV, and she could just hear my niece like talking, and like she thought she was just like talking to herself or doing whatever, just doing what kids do. And then she came into the room and she said to her, "Oh, who are you talking to?" And she went, "Oh, that little boy out there." And then they moved house again about 2 weeks later.
I may too. Yeah.
No, if she said, "Oh, that demon sat on the stairs," then yeah, maybe, but not a little boy.
Yeah.
Just all right, we'll just tell him to fucking go away.
I don't know, like, children's spirits are creepier than adults, I feel like. Maybe that's just me, but that freaks me out more.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might have a
Yeah.
point there, actually. Just kids are creepy, to be fair.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah. There's very few that I like.
Yes, well, it's only really my own. And that's only because I have
Mhm.
to.
Yeah,
You don't
facts.
have a choice with them. So, what would you say have been your most compelling bits of evidence that you've found or got, or however you want to word it?
I would say, one, we were in a place called the Ross House in Bel Air, and we were asking, earlier in the night if at some point someone could say one of our names. And it was me, my
Mm.
dad, and my friend. We said, could you say our name? And so we were in one of the rooms that used to be, it was actually a chinchilla room. And we had the spirit box set up.
A what
And if
room?
I, a chinchilla room,
What, like the big rat things?
yes. Yeah,
Fair enough.
bred th they bred those. I don't in their house. I don't know why, but they did. Yeah, that was, like, their business.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
So,
enough. I thought I
yeah,
was hearing things then.
no, no, definitely a chinchilla room. Yeah, it's very,
Fair
very
enough.
strange. So, we were in there, and we were set up with, a couple different things, and it was just quiet for a second, and then it said, "Name," and then stopped, and then it said, "Devon," and I mean, when I tell you my heart, like, sank,
Mm.
I froze for a second because I couldn't believe that that actually happened. I'm like, "Did it just fucking say Devon?" And my friend's like, "It fucking said that." I mean, all of our audio is just like we're cussing on everything. I'm like, "Oh, this is so bad." But, I could not believe it that it said my name, and I was like, "Thank you, you said my name." And I said, "Oh my gosh, my heart just" that's what I say. I was like, "My heart just sank." And it said something like, bed, 'cause I was sitting on the bed. It was like continued the conversation. It was just
Mm.
so bizarre. It threw me for the rest of the night. And then also that same night, there's a spirit in the house who he's just kind of an asshole. His name's Roger, Roger with a D. He makes sure he tells you that, and he doesn't like women, and it's just like, whatever. But it was really funny because he came across the spirit box and he called us like evil woman, and he was just like doing all this stuff, whatever. And we were just laughing. And apparently he shuts down the other, spirits in the house. And we were told this by the owner. I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens.
Mm.
They have a picture of him up on the mantle in the room that we were in. And we said, there's like nothing happening. It just like everybody stopped talking. We were getting a lot of activity, and then all of a sudden there was absolutely nothing. And we're like, what happened? We're like, why is nobody talking? And then just came across the spirit box, and it said, look at the picture, the picture of Roger, basically, that he had like shut them down. So that night was really, I'm gonna say, affirming for me. I already knew that I already know paranormal stuff is real, but it was just hearing my name and having like there was a lot of really good experiences that correlated with the history of the house and things like that that just really
Mm.
solidified it for me. And I just thought there's a lot to this. And I definitely want to go back there. We're already looking at doing again because there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, that's cool as fuck. But I think I'd be doing what you did before and just leg it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
My
don't
heart.
even know my name. Leave me the hell alone.
Yeah. My heart sank. I mean, that's I was like, I just stopped. I just froze. I'm like, I got nothing. I can't do anything for the rest of the night. Like, I'm done. I'm done. It just that totally
Mm.
threw me. And also in that house, it was really, really funny because there's a certain on the spirit box, all the words kind of come out the same sounding, like as far as the inflection and stuff, We were downstairs and my dad said, he was asking a question, I think something about making a noise, and he said, "With all due respect." And how the words came across the spirit box was totally different. It just said, "You're lying." And we just like it was like such a smart ass and it was so funny. And my dad's like, "I am not lying." He said, "I would never lie." And then it said, "Oh, angel." And we just lost it. Like whatever was in that house was like really like a big smart ass. And it was so
Yeah.
funny. There was multiple things that happened. And those are my favorite experiences. Like ones that have just like you see their personalities coming through. So much fun.
Mm.
It was great.
Yeah, that's funny. Again, I wouldn't even know how to react to that. I just feel like,
Yeah.
what the hell's just happened?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was my dad, he laughed about that the whole rest of the night. But yeah, just how it said it was like, "You're lying." And then, "Oh, angel."
Mm.
Such a smart ass. It was great.
Yeah. Have you ever got any good videos or photos that you can't explain?
Yeah, I have a couple good photos. Videos, not really. I still
Mm.
have a lot of stuff that I haven't gone through, to be honest. Just we've done a lot of like back to back investigations, like weekend after weekend. We're really
Yeah.
busy, which has been good. But because of that, I've kind of like fallen behind on some evidence review here recently. So I still have a lot of stuff to go through. But yeah, I got really, really good pictures at the lunatic asylum. 2 weeks ago. That place was absolutely incredible. I mean, I have a perfect man. I mean, just like a black man. I'll send that to you. It's absolutely insane. That's the best picture I've ever gotten. Because it was just kind of dark. So I was messing with my exposure a little bit. And when I lightened it
Right.
up, I mean, there's a person there. I mean, there's couldn't be anything else. Like there, it is a person. It is absolutely insane. You see the head, the body, everything. So that's definitely the best picture I ever got. And then there's another picture from that night too. It's not as good, but you can definitely tell it's somebody standing there. It almost looks like they're like playing peekaboo with you.
Mm.
It was really good. So I have a couple pictures like that, and then the prison, the West Virginia Penitentiary. We've had a couple good pictures there as well. So but I'm still waiting for, like, a really good video, and maybe I'll never get it of something, like, walking across the screen, but,
Yeah.
I'm still hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll definitely have to send me that because
I will.
that's sounds weird.
Yeah, it was great, and it was just me and my friend, there was nobody else on that floor,
Mm.
so, it was
Yeah.
bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, me and Billy, well, we well, yeah, I'd say we got a good bit of evidence. So, do you trust any of the apps that you can get for on your phone?
I haven't used any of them, I don't know enough
Yeah.
about them to use them, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've got it on my phone, and because again, like just in general, I was very skeptical at the start. But then I thought, well, if there's apps on your phone, then they're just programmed to do stuff. It doesn't really matter. But there's one on there. It's called Ghost Tube, and it's like basically works like an SLS camera. And so like I said, when we were in that woods, we set up Billy's radar pod, obviously similar to a REM pod, but different apparently. Don't know how, but yeah. Uh, so we set that up in front of where the doorway for this abandoned house that's in there is, and then we set like I say, Billy's phone with that SLS camera app on it. Because I said, because he showed me that on the way there, and I was like, well, that's bloody stupid because it's just going to pick up branches and everything, mate. We're going into a lot of fucking trees. It's going to be going off left, right, and centre. So I
Right?
was like, that's going to be
Yeah.
useless. But then we
Mhm.
thought, obviously, right, well, if it's just pointing at a doorway where obviously there is no trees or anything, I said, we'll see what it does. So then we set that up, and then we walked further down to the other end of the house and think we were playing with bloody cat balls and stuff and spirit box, and then the radar pod went off, went mental. So then obviously we legged it back down, looked at the camera, and then whilst that's going off, there was like literally a full stick figure, 2 arms, 2 legs, body, head,
Oh,
everything.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wow.
Like I said, I mean,
That's
I don't know how much you can trust the app, but then I downloaded it afterwards, and I was just like, right, every so often, I'm just going to randomly like use it wherever I am and just see what it does. And to be fair, it's never picked up anything that isn't there.
right.
So,
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it might be
Yeah.
coincidence. I don't know. But like I said, that was definitely weird.
Yeah, no,
I'll
I
I'll
mean,
send you the little clip we have of that because my reaction is, well, quite funny apparently.
yeah, one of
Yeah.
my friends who came on the last investigation with us, she had that on her phone and she used it and she got quite a lot with that. So,
Mm,
I mean, it obviously was showing us and then she would pan to other parts of the room and I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, definitely could be. It's crazy. She did get a lot with that though.
yeah. Like I said, because I thought, right, straight away, right, well, that's weird. Is it just chance, like I say? Is it because it's an app, it's just programmed to do that whenever, like, I don't know, every so often or however many times you use it? So, like, for about, literally about 3 weeks, every day, I went on it for like 5, 10 minutes and just, like, wherever I was, I just walked around a bit and, like, moved it all over the place and never got anything of it. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it does actually work. I don't know.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, I do like them anyway, to be fair. I think they are quite cool, the SLS cameras.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they
Yeah,
definitely are.
yeah,
Yeah, that'll be something for me eventually, I think.
yeah. Another thing, very expensive.
Exactly. One
Yeah,
expensive thing at a time for me.
exactly. Yeah. So have you got any investigations in the future planned yet, or do you just sort of like wing it?
Uh, so we normally have a lot planned. We kind of we had like 6 planned in a row, and then we've kinda hit the end of that. Now we're,
Mm,
coming up on Christmas and all that stuff where things are kind of either closed because of the weather or,
yeah,
holidays, busy, whatever. So right now, we don't have anything actually booked, which is the first time since probably June that we haven't had something booked. But we have a lot of stuff that we're looking at right now. So I kind of made like a makeshift map of West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, the two neighboring states of kind of everything that's within like a 5-hour drive. Um, of any place we could possibly go. So I've been doing
yeah,
that currently, and I'm trying to figure something out as far as where we're going to go next. We have a couple in the close area that are kind of not hotspots, that not hotspots, but not places that people normally go and investigate. But there's also not a lot of paranormal groups around where I'm at either. We're gonna try
yeah.
to, I think, hit those over the winter and see what we get. But yeah, I'm ready to start booking some things again. But we've had a very full couple months.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it. Uh,
Mhm.
I've got two coming up that, well, they'll
Nice.
technically, as I'll say, they'll be my first like official ones, apart from obviously
Mhm.
when me and Billy went for a little walk in the woods, which sounds
Nice.
weird. Sounds weird the way I've said that, but yeah, never mind. Ignore that. Ignore that.
Whatever works. Whatever makes you happy.
Exactly. But one that is next in January, I want to say. Yeah, it's either
Mhm.
January or February. I think it's January. That is where I'm going to what is supposed to be the most haunted house in the country. So
Mhm. Oh wow. Okay.
that's gonna be an experience.
Yeah, that is
Mm.
awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I feel like you guys have, like, all the cool places over there. Like, I feel like it's so much, I don't know, maybe everything's just older and it just the castle, everything. I wanna go over there and just have a ball.
Never mind like castles and stuff. We've got pubs that are older than your entire country. So
Right, that's right, exactly, exactly. Like, I would just have a ball. I feel like that's, like, the mecca of all of the paranormal, everything is there. So someday I'll make it
yeah.
there.
Well, they're the best places are the pubs because I say now that if you go to a pub and nobody tells you that about a ghost that's in there, then it doesn't count as a pub.
Mhm.
Every pub needs a ghost.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
If it's not, I
That's
don't
aw
trust the place.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm a little jealous, honestly.
They did do a lot of weird stuff back in the day though with pubs. Like I'm pretty sure they used to bury cats in the walls to prevent
Oh,
fires.
okay.
I
How
don't
did
know.
that work?
I don't know. I can't give you a reason why, but that was the
Okay.
superstition that if
Mhm.
you buried a dead cat in your walls, then your building weren't going to burn down.
Well, that's good to know.
I
I mean,
think
let's try that. Oh, see what happens.
yeah, yeah, very, 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 very weird.
Wow.
The reason I know that is even funnier because it's not even through doing stuff like this. You'll have heard of the show Shameless because there was an American version of it that just was a disgrace compared to ours, but we won't go into that.
Okay.
But yeah, but on our version, the pub on it, the basically they renovate the pub and then they knock a wall down and they've convinced it was that it's a dead baby, and then they find out that it was actually a cat, and then they say that that's the reason why.
Oh,
And
So funny.
then I did look that up thinking like, is that a real thing? And it turns out it was.
Wow, that's I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
watch the real version of Shameless now too, because 'cause I'm only
Oh,
seeing the
so much
American
better.
version, so yeah, really?
It's
Okay.
so much better. It's really annoying because the first series is word for word the same.
Really?
Literally.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Oh, wow,
Yeah,
okay, I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna have to look
yeah.
that up.
You should
That's
do. It's
funny.
better.
Because I did like Shameless, so but I guess I didn't have anything to compare it to, so
Yeah, well, I think that was the problem because when Shameless was first out, like obviously the ages in it was similar to my age sort of thing, and like, it was- I mean, I didn't grow up on a council estate like it is on Shameless, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm just talking nonsense now. So yeah, right.
I can tell you about I think we did piss a ghost off the other day at our last place that we went, so I can tell you about that.
Yeah, yeah, right. I need to know that then. How'd you manage to piss a ghost off?
Well, the house that was part of the Underground Railroad, the lady of the house, Mary, had her own bedroom, and that room is just creepy anyways. They have one of her dresses on, like a mannequin in there, and every time you walk by, you feel like someone's in there, and it just I did not like that room at all. And my friend was kind of standing in there with the spirit box, and it said something about blue eyes, and she was like, Devon has blue eyes, and then it said slower, which, like, didn't really make any sense. So my friend just kind of joking around said, "Dev," and we all just kinda started laughing. Well, immediately it was like switch flipped and it was like, "I don't like you. Get out. You're rude." It was like all these, like, insults started, like, coming right at us. We're like, "Oh, okay." It was just, like, instant, and then from there, that room, the rest of the night was insane. I sat my REM pod in there on her, she had a vanity in there and I sat it on her chair and it went off for it was like 6 minutes straight, that high pitched squeal. I mean, it just would not it
Mm,
was almost like she was like standing there with her finger on it, like, get out of my room type thing. And
yeah.
then just we kept hearing that was the second room that we all ran out of because we heard this noise and it was just we looked like the Three Stooges coming out of there, and it was like the rest of the night, every time we went in that room, something happened. Like I think she really just did not like us at all. And the REM pod after that, everywhere we put it, it was just like high pitched. It went off for like 30 minutes at one point. I mean, just I think it just wanted
Oh
us
no, I
out of
couldn't deal with that.
yeah, it was I was like, "What is going on?" And then it was, yeah, "Get out." I mean, we pissed it off. So we were just having
Yeah.
fun, but she didn't like us, I guess.
Well, clearly,
Yeah.
yeah. You see, I don't know how I'd feel with that situation then because, like, I'd just be like, yeah, it's good you get in some sort of activity, but it's not like it's not good activity. Well, it is, but you know, like, it's like I'd rather get sounds a bit wanky, but I'd rather get like positive activities. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, that was the first time we've seemed to have something that was, like, mad, and,
Mm,
we apologized for, like, "Oh, we were just joking around." We were, like, really trying, but it's like she was, like, done with us at that point. Like, she did not care at all what we had to say. She was done with us, and just every time that REM pod was out, it was just like, "Ee," that high pitch. I'm like, "Okay," and I just kept
mm.
turning it off. So I'm like, "No." Trying to run
Fair
us
enough.
out. Mhm.
There's a question then. So, do you ever get worried about anything following you home or anything? Because I've spoken to a few people where something like that has happened.
Yeah, I know that it can. I don't know. I mean, I take my great-grandmother's rosary with me, and when I'm there, I kind of give the spiel. If the spiel does anything, I don't know, maybe not at all, but it's always a, "You have to stay here. I'm leaving. Thank you for letting me visit, but you have to stay here. You're not allowed to come home with me." And
Mm,
I do that. I know some people do, crystals. I don't know enough about crystals. I don't understand how they work. I really don't know. So I tend to do that. I do try
no.
to stay away from places that have a history of like the demonic stuff. That does worry me a little bit. There's a house that's kind of close that is known for that. I mean, back in the day, there was, seances and all these things that they believe opened up something in there. And there's been a lot of bad things that have happened in there. And that's a place you can rent and stay overnight. I
Mm,
don't think I would necessarily wanna do that. I'm not trying to take any risks with that, but I think also if you have just, like, I don't know, I don't wanna say a shield up, it sounds stupid, but just like a
Mm.
strong, you know what I mean? Just peace of mind and just say, "Okay, like, I'm protected, nothing's coming home with me, like, my barrier's up." If you're not vulnerable, if you're not feeling weak or sad or whatever, because I think things tend to latch onto you when you're like that.
Yeah.
But I know it definitely can happen. I mean, I don't think it happens the amount of times like on like Ghost Adventures
Mm.
that gets possessed like every episode or something, but I don't think that really happens, but I know bad things can happen.
Well, there's an interesting one then. So do you believe in like demons and all that stuff then?
I do. I
Mm.
do, but
Because I'm unsure. That's why I ask.
yeah, I do. And I know there's some people like cuz I'm Lutheran, but I believe in the paranormal as far as like spirits and demons. But there I know
Mm.
there's some people that think that all things that are paranormal, anything that's happening, that that's just demons. There's no such thing as ghosts, and
Mm.
it's I really don't believe that at all. You know, I do believe in demons, but I think those are two very separate things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I got to see the Annabelle doll back in May. That was pretty interesting. They were bringing her around on tour, and I know there's supposed to be,
Mm.
you know, a demon attached to her. They had a Catholic priest there to bless you whenever you left. I mean, it was like a whole production, but I don't know. I don't know about
Mm.
that.
It's weird because like I said, I'm unsure. I'm not 100% why I'm unsure, which I'm
Mhm.
unsure about being unsure, which doesn't really make much sense. But I think it's because to me, demons are all. It's almost all like a religion thing. It's almost like like the devil and God and Satan and all that sort of stuff. It's all sort of merged into one for me. That sort of stuff. And like, I'm not religious. I don't believe in any sort of God or any sort of devil or anything like that. I just like I almost take like I say with ghosts and spirits and stuff. It's almost more like a scientific thing about how obviously like ghosts are energy and obviously energy can't be destroyed, so something must happen to us because
Mhm.
we are energy and all that sort of jazz. But I don't know. So like I said, I don't know if I believe in demons then because that's like that's something otherworldly, as they say. So I don't know if I believe in that. I'd need. I think I'd need to see something like in person. I don't know, like someone actually being possessed or something. I don't know, which would be fucking horrific. I don't want to see that, but I think that's the only way that it would make me believe in it, I think.
Right. No, that makes sense. And then, you know, in that circumstance, maybe it's just a evil spirit, you
Mm.
know, just a bad spirit, not necessarily demon. You know, I don't know how to
Yeah, yeah.
differentiate that. I don't know. But I definitely don't want to mess with it just in case, you know.
Mm. Yeah, like I say, like, I wouldn't like, like I say, I'm not gonna piss around with that doll or anything, so fuck that.
Yeah.
Like I say, just
Yeah.
because you never know.
You never know. Yeah, they were very strict about, you know, don't put your face on the glass, don't touch it, none of that stuff. I mean, I had my face just about as close to it as I could get without putting my nose on it, but because I just wanted to like see inside of there. It was very cool. But I don't know. I
I
didn't
don't
bring
I don't
anything
know
home with me.
I don't know why that sounds ridiculous that people have to be told not to put the face on the glass, like,
I
to
did, I did.
me that should be common sense.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that was like
Yeah.
literally it was like the guidelines, like don't put your face on it. Yeah. So
But there's an example of how my brain works then. So clearly that means like how you said there, like putting like your nose up against it. I was
uh-huh.
expecting like somebody like squishing the full head up against it. I don't know why.
It's probably someone who's tried that. I mean, they if they said it,
Probably.
someone probably tried it. So yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, I got close, but I didn't touch it. I wanted to see in there, so I'm just
mm,
curious. It was neat
yeah.
though. I
It's
don't
like
know.
that.
Mhm.
Don't do it then.
Right, right.
Don't
Yeah,
take the
stop
risk,
doing
you
that.
fucking idiot.
Yeah, stop doing that. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know. I took a selfie with her. I don't know. I guess there were some people there that you could tell they're absolutely terrified, and were
Mm,
just like sitting back. I was the first one up there, but I was also I was respectful too. Like I said, I wasn't
mm,
doing anything crazy, but and I asked, I'm like, can I take a picture with her? That Ryan Buell from Paranormal State, who has her possession of her that worked with the Warrens, that's who was there
mm.
with her. So, I got the go ahead. So I do have a selfie with Annabelle, but
Not many people can say that, I would imagine.
no, no, no.
So there's a bucket list item ticked off.
Yeah, yeah, selfie with Annabelle. It was very last
Exactly.
minute too, because they had her at the West Virginia State Penitentiary, and I had no clue. I saw it the day of, and just like a thing popped up on TikTok, and it
Mm,
just said that Annabelle was going to be there. I'm like, oh, that can't be real. So I just started
mm,
looking, and I'm like, holy shit, Annabelle's going to be here. I'm like, I have to go because I mean, when am I going to see her? So
yeah.
it was not.
What I really want is I want somebody to, because you'll be able to do it with AI now. I want someone to redo the Conjuring film and like the Annabelle films, but with the like make it the real doll because it'll be much less scary.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and they had the doll from the movie there too for, like, comparison, and obviously, yeah,
Mm,
she's terrifying, but that's what they were saying, the people who make the Raggedy Ann doll basically told them no for the film because
yeah,
of that, because they're like, "No one's gonna buy the doll anymore," which I don't know if people really buy Raggedy Anns anyways, but they didn't want them
right.
putting her in the film, so
That's weird.
mhm.
No, my keys are moving. I don't like that.
That is strange.
Yeah, see, I told you, weird shit keeps happening around
Oh,
here. Like
wow.
I turn my camera on, but I can't. Hang on, see if I can. I'll record it on my phone. If I can, I'll send you it. I don't like that. Like, there's no reason they should be moving.
Weird.
Yeah, that's a nah. That can whatever's doing that can behave. Yeah, that's weird. Oh, so like there's a chair like behind my laptop here where Billy used to sit,
Uh-huh.
and twice when I've been in here recording, that thing has like moved, like spun round.
That is bizarre. Well,
Yeah,
people are leaving weird
don't like
stuff
it.
with you in the
Yeah, clearly. As long as nothing breaks my Lego that I've got in here, I don't care. That's my one rule.
there you go.
Now that has completely thrown me off again. Oh, fuck's sake! I was going to say something again then, but then the keys have fucking scared me.
Oh, yeah.
There, that was it. That was it. What do you make of the Warrens then? Because there is a bit of I don't know. Some people love them, some people hate them.
Mhm. Yeah, I know, I see a lot of both.
Mm,
Before seeing all the hate on them, I I think they're very interesting people. They were very interesting
mhm.
people. I don't know if what they did was real or not. I really I don't know, but I love the Conjuring movies. I don't know.
Yeah, same.
I really don't know what to think about them. I mean, my initial
Mm,
opinion was that, they were really trying to help people and that there was some truth to what they did, but
mm,
I don't know. I've heard some other claims that make me question that. So I don't know. I mean, I know Ryan Buell, who worked with them, absolutely loved them and said that they were, well, he worked with Lorraine, Ed had already passed, said that she was
mm.
just the kindest, sweetest person and really cared and was really trying to help people who were having issues. So I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
Similar, to be honest. I mean, because like yourself, I love the Conjuring films. I like all of them. And well, to be honest, when the first one came out, that was the first time I'd really heard of them. To be honest, like I don't know, like I've said that I want to do an episode on them and do like a bit of a proper like deep dive
Mhm.
into some of the what would you call it, like controversies around them. Maybe I don't know, but I know a lot of things have been exaggerated. The best example, the Enfield haunting, like obviously the whole Conjuring 2 is based around that,
Mhm.
but I'm pretty sure in reality they were there for like an hour.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again,
Yeah.
like I don't know, I don't know if that's 100% true, but I have been
Mhm.
told by more than two people that, like, they weren't as involved with the Enfield stuff as much as the movie makes out. Yeah,
Yeah. And
but then again, there
that
also
doesn't
wasn't an evil
surprise
known
me.
at Enfield, so
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that things are a little exaggerated.
yeah. But I
I don't
mean,
know.
like,
The movies do a good job.
they were literally like almost like they're out like the original ghost hunters, weren't the sort of things. So
Mm.
I mean, they're sort of the ones who like, well, not obviously not like the original ones or anything, but you know what I mean. They're like the main two that you think of when you think of like
Yes.
paranormal stuff and what have you. So I mean,
Mhm.
you've got to give them the respect for that. But even if there is a couple of dodgy moments in there,
Right. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. Whenever I used to watch Paranormal State back in like, well, I was in high school. It was probably in the mid 2000s. Paranormal State was on, and it was about college kids that did paranormal investigating there out of Penn State. And
mm,
that Ryan Dole, he was, I don't know if you ever watched it or not, but he kind of reached out to Lorraine Warren and then she ended up coming on the show. So that was kind of how I first got introduced to her. Ed had already passed, and
mm.
that's kind of how I learned a little bit about her. But she would like help them on some of their investigations and things. I mean, it was always very, very interesting, but she was, old at that point, but
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just because, well, like you say, it's similar. Just I think with any sort of like famous ghost hunters, they say it's the same with Zach Bagans. It was the same with Most Haunted. At some point, people like because I think people who aren't into it, there's a lot of people who get
Mhm,
really annoyed by it as well. I've found, and they're the type of
mhm.
people who will just shit on stuff even more. And then sometimes it's justified, sometimes it isn't. I don't know. I think it's just one of them things. I think there's good and bad in everybody, I suppose.
Yeah, that's
Mm,
true, and a lot of those shows, I mean, it's the theatrics is what sells, but,
mm.
like, I've
Oh, yeah.
never had a paranormal investigation that's even slightly as I don't know how to say exciting. I mean, they're exciting, but all of the things and the, "Oh my god, what was that?" and that stuff all the time, that's not a normal thing that happens, but, I mean, that's what sells shows. No one would probably wanna watch me on an hour episode ghost hunt, so I guess that's, what people wanna see.
Yeah, exactly. It's, I mean, obviously, like I say, it's edited down. Like I say, let's say like any videos that I'm going to do in the future, that I'm not going to leave in the bits where we're just sat there waiting for something to happen.
Mhm. Right. Yeah,
So
there's a lot
I
of
don't
that
know. It's
time.
weird. Mm, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
because
lot
that
of
was one of the good things with Most Haunted. Every Halloween they used to do like a live episode that was, I mean, I don't know, say they did 12 hours or something. I don't know. No, it wasn't that
Mhm.
long. Like I said, they do a whole live bit, and to be fair, a lot of the times, not a lot happened on it,
Right.
but
Yeah.
there was a few moments. But I mean, again, they're probably smart enough to realize that you're like, if we're going to fake it, we can't have stuff happening every 5 minutes, or else people are going to know,
Right.
sort of thing. But
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, when they were in Gettysburg, that's what it was for. It was their Halloween, they did the overnight, and I think they did 3 different locations,
Mm,
throughout the night, and yeah, that was really cool.
mm, yeah. Right, before we finish, you want to let our listeners know where they can find you?
Yes, so I am on TikTok and Facebook, the Paranormal Girl. You can find me on both of those. I'm working on a YouTube, but I don't have that up yet.
That stuff is a ball ache, I will tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's fun. It's fun.
I'll get there.
Yeah. Right then, guys. So we shall leave it there for today. As always, go and follow our Instagram page at the Spooky Shed Podcast. The link in the bio there for all the other socials that we do not use, but go and follow them if you want. Merch stores there, Patreon page, YouTube channel, and all that other stuff that I've probably forgotten about. But yeah, we shall speak to you next time.